Shalom, Kohalim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and blessing salutations as always to the hopefully elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Back with another lesson through the Rakah Kadash, the Holy Spirit. And these cities, America as a whole, really is circling the drain fast. We see that there's a deliberate, accelerated push, a very urgent push by the elites, the world banking, Edomites, the Rothschilds, and names like that, Klaus Schwab and the WEF and the WHO, all these different organizations. They coming down on the Western world. And what you're seeing happen to America, this is deliberately being done. I mean, it's pretty obvious to see that. And you'll see in this video that this is deliberate. I mean, there's no other way to explain it or get around it. Just the policies that are being put in place, such as these migrants being given cell phones and thousands of dollars on a card. Like, yo, this shit gets pretty wild. You're gonna see in the video, they out there walking around with jewelry and driving around cars with no license plate, insurance, nothing. But on the flip side, you got the American citizen. You still having to pay taxes. You still having to pay exorbitant price for a car. Still having to pay for licensing and all these different type of stuff. But these migrants, they coming up in here and they getting set up, which this is nothing more than the chickens coming home to roost for these Babylonians, especially these Edomites, because now they complaining about their homes being taken over and they're being replaced. Their land is being stripped from them, but they don't seem to realize, they seem to have a cognitive dissonance that their forefathers did the same thing to the Northern Kingdom when they came over here. Didn't they displace our Northern Kingdom brothers from their land? The Trail of Tears and the Indian Removal Act and all these different wars that they waged against the Israelites. Took their homes by force and forced them on the reservations. Now the elites are doing what their forefathers did to the lower level Edomites, and they not happy about that. But I ain't gonna ramble on. We gonna get into this, watch a couple minutes, get some points, and Lord willing, this is edifying.
This building, they're doing pimping, prostitution, drugs, fighting, and our brothers and sisters. I literally walked from a tent.
Oh, by the way, quick disclaimer. This is a video for strictly educational purposes. I'm not making money off of this video. Strictly educational purposes for all those that are viewing. Let's continue.
Compound where American citizens, veterans are living in squalor. The stench of feces and urine was overwhelming. I leave that to go to illegals living in luxury.
Are you a lonely man with nothing going on? Why not learn how to code? DevSlopes is the only coding academy out there.
They've taken over a whole city block. Clayton, here's the final thing, one thing I want to impress upon. When you and I talked about me walking on the border in San Diego, in the area that I bled on to get to control that, and that feeling I had that I was in enemy territory, that they owned it. I was in Chicago when the vast majority, there were hundreds of military age adult men from Venezuela, majority from Venezuela. They looked at me like, what are you doing? This is our neighborhood. Get out. This is what's happening to America. You are being replaced. What do you do when you go into war?
And the crazy thing about it is, like I said, these Edomites, they have a cognitive dissonance towards what their forefathers did and how they got this land. These Edomites, they're living on stolen land. They got this land by unrighteous decrees, by waging wars, by deceit and lies, right? Like I said, the so-called Native Americans, they was ran off of their land. You know, they were replaced, and the Edomites took over unrighteously. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. See, now they're having to look, man. This is why the scriptures say that whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. This is why now they losing their homes, they're losing their jobs, losing businesses, losing their mind. All right, that American dream that once profound goal that these Americans had, that's not a reality no more, because we moving into the next phase of this agenda, which is, as Klaus said, that you will own nothing and be happy, right? Meanwhile, the average American, they've been reduced to poverty, and these migrants coming in, they being set up, they being given everything. And of course, now there's resentment from the Edomite, because they feel like that should be going to them. But just like how that movie just came out not too long ago, titled Civil War, this is exactly what's brewing in America. Hence the title of this the video. This is where war in America will start. You see? Because these elites, they're manufacturing a civil war. And this civil war is going to bring about what? Anarchy, chaos, dysfunction. And then from that, we know that they're going to bring this new system in. But this is only the beginning. These things are just brewing right now, but they haven't came forth full scale yet. But these things are coming. Let's continue.
You take land. It's called occupying property. They're occupying America, and they're pushing us out. 45 million going on 50 million strong. And the other thing I want to say, that as I travel and I see it, I went from leaving the United States Border Patrol 3 years ago, when the NGOs didn't really know what they were doing. The NGOs on the South Side bringing the caravans up didn't know. The government just created this chaos because they wanted to destroy America. And it was all chaotic and clunky. No longer, Clayton. I'm watching an industrial strength, industrial size operation that is streamlined and efficient from the Darien Gap to Chicago. I have never seen anything like this big and this perfectly orchestrated. It is unbelievable.
It must have felt like a whole different world. I mean, I've been to Chicago many times. I can't imagine. You feel like you're a foreigner in your own country, walking down those streets of Chicago.
Well, you know what was amazing too is what, and you watch this video that Mark Carter, when he and I are talking, he takes me across the street to those tent cities, the tent compound. Hundreds of people live in there, drug addicts, everything. It's just a horrible, miserable way for any human to live. And I'm interviewing several of them, and they tell me the stories of during the winter, how they're getting frostbite on their toes and their fingers. Clayton, 200 yards away is the illegal immigrant intake center. They have 5 tents that look like the beautiful white wedding tents with beautiful signage where they feed, clothe, and medicate them. And then if it's too cold, Clayton, they put them on 5 city buses that stay running 24 hours a day so they can warm up. U.S. citizens were knocking on the doors of the bus saying, please let me in, as illegal aliens were sitting there getting warm, eating freshly cooked food with brand new clothes, and our Americans are knocking on the bus. And you know what the bus driver said? Only illegal aliens allowed. This is not hyperbole. I'm not making this up. This is what's happening to our nation.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that
And it's unfair. You and I can have a discussion, Clayton, about how much money we give, how do we fix the homeless problem. But the one discussion we can't have any disagreement on, do you take care of American citizens first? Or do you make them stay and sleep in the freezing cold while I take care of foreign nationals that broke our nation's laws?
The goal is not to take care of the American citizen. Clearly, the goal is to put the American citizen in a more destitute, decrepit situation, because from that, they'll have more control. If you create a epidemic of homelessness, of poverty, of hunger, which that's, all these things are coming down the pipeline. See, famine is coming. Like, listen, we've been bringing out reports pretty much every week talking about famine, talking about lack of food, scarcity. The farmers are being put out of business. They're being unsubsidized. Jobs are being closed down, so people are out of work. They can't, or if you are working, most people, they have to have more than one stream of income to make ends meet for their family. And if jobs are going away, how are people going to be able to survive in this kind of environment, man? This is why you're seeing what you're seeing in these cities. Chaos and violence and strife is brewing all over. But again, this is what the powers that be want. Because from this, and also we know that they're taking away cash. We see that there's an accelerated push to go digital. So this grid is going to go down, man. They've been talking about that too, that this grid is about to, power out. It ain't about to be no power. You see? So you got to give it to Esau, though, because Esau, he's truly the devil, man. All right? This man has well thought out this NWO agenda. And really, the things that he's doing, it's so overt that it's covert. Like, the stuff that he's doing is so obvious. Like, yo, these people are really deliberately tanking America, but it's covert in the way that these things seem organic. These things seem organic to where, politicians, they just need to fix this. And why is he, making these laws and legislations? And, we need to do better. These Americans still think that there's some kind of hope for America to bounce back, which majority of them don't even realize that they're living in the end of their once great society. All right. And when you look back, all the great societies came to an end. Whether you talk about ancient Egypt, you talk about ancient Greece, Rome, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Persians, and the Medes, all these great empires, they had a height and they had a period where they started to decline and ultimately fell. We're living through the decline and fall of America. See, and these cities are a prime example. Chicago, New York. New York and Chicago is crazy, like LA. You know what I'm saying? These major cities, man, like things are brewing up. And eventually what's going to happen, things going to get so bad to where there are going to be no jobs. There's going to be no type of hope. You know what I'm saying? So then they're going to bring forth the UBI, Universal Basic Income. Then they're going to bring, that's going to be attached to the CBDC, and then ultimately the MOTB. So we see where all of this is going, to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Let's go here to 2nd Esdras 5 and verse 1. It says, nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number. Yeah. So these Babylonians, and not just Americans, pretty much everybody on the whole earth is being taken in a great number. People that got that juice back in 2021 and, beyond, they're being taken. The poor in these cities, they're being taken as well. All right. A great number of these people are being taken by the wiles of the devil. You see? That they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden. And this is also coming as well. We know that the famine of the word, pursuant to Amos 8 and 11, this is coming because these devils are actively putting laws on the books to ban Bible teaching, to ban street preaching, things of that nature. They don't even want anybody to have a biblical perspective, right? But really, this is because they have to, I was watching Elder Yashawamba, GMS Dallas, earlier, and he brought out the point that these elites, they're moving to take away the Bible pretty much because they have to detach themselves from biblical prophecy. See, because the Bible says that this is what they would do in the last days. So if you want to know who's ruling, all you got to do is, just do some basic math, common denomination, and you'll come to see that the Edomites, pursuant to 2nd Ezra's 6 and 9, that Esau is the end of the world, and that this is his rulership right now. All right. And this is the rule of the wicked, Proverbs 29 and 2. This is why everybody's mourning, because wicked people are in power. Like, just look at the laws that they putting down. These are wicked, unrighteous laws, man. The people are suffering. You see? But yeah, man, look, America through. Okay? This place is done, man. Like, it ain't no bouncing back. People want Trump to get back in office come this election, if there is an election. You know, because all of what's about to go down, who knows if it's going to be an election. But let's just say hypothetically that things go as planned, and they get Biden up out of there and Trump gets in. Well, things about to get even worse. You see, because Trump, all he's going to do is accelerate the agenda, and Biden, he's going to accelerate the agenda as well. But yeah, man, these devils are actively, they want to ban the word because they want to detach themselves from biblical prophecy. They don't want people to connect the dots and know that what they're doing, ties them to being the wicked of the earth. You see, so they have to do damage control and get rid of the prophets, get rid of the true understanding of the Bible. You see, because when Christianity reigned supreme and the people were living in deception, the Bible was cool because they could use it, as a tool of mind control for the people. But now that the true men of the Lord have been raised up, the prophets, now the true understanding is out and people are starting to question these elites. Why you think Klaus Schwab just resigned from being the head of the World Economic Forum? Because now he's starting to get the heat. People are questioning things. He's starting to get backlash. So now he's moving to the back burner. Now he's going into the shadows, which that really right there shows you that stuff really about to hit the fan, because if he's going behind the scenes, what the hell they got going on? We know that they got the bunkers, what I'm saying? We also know that they about to bring some serious hell on this earth. So a lot of them is just going away, not even wanting to be around. Then they also understand people about to rise up. So you have a perfect jambalaya. You have a perfect concoction of chaos that's coming down the pipeline, and that's a good title for a lesson. The concoction of chaos. I gotta write that down. But yeah, man, the way of truth is going to be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Yeah, a lot of people right now, they're hopeless, they're destitute, they don't have a good outlook on life, and this is gonna cause people to just lose their mind, just bug out to the max degree, because when people feel like they have nothing to lose, they just lose it all. Verse 2, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. And what do the scriptures say? It says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. This is why you're seeing so many just heinous murders going on, friends, deleting one another, and people just randomly going around, which, we understand according to the scriptures that these are spirits of vengeance, but nonetheless, the love of many is waxing cold because iniquity, sin upon sin, people have just gotten more wicked in general. This is the most wicked that the earth has ever been, man. This is like how the earth was in the days of Noah, just completely wicked. Verse 3, in the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou suddenly see wasted. Yeah. Verse 7, in the Sodomitish sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. This is verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again. And the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Yeah, these are the times that we're in. All right. So things are only ramping up, getting worse. And this is why the hopeful elect we got to put on the full arm of Yahweh Shemel Shah because we understand that it's crunch time. It's 1.5 left on the clock, and we almost at the finish line. So we just got to stay focused and, you know, get closer to Yahweh Shemel Shah in this time. Let's continue.
I give them everything they need. When I was coming out of those homeless shelters, I mean the illegal alien migrant hotels, you know what I saw? I saw men wearing very nice clothes, extremely clean, watches, jewelry. Another thing I saw, Clayton, they were jumping in and out of vehicles that they bought that had no license plates, no anything. And I'm told by Chicago PD officers, we're not allowed to stop them. We know who they are. They get to drive licenseless, plateless, anything. Just, it's anarchy.
So y'all heard that, right? So these migrants, they just out here doing what they want to do. They out here riding around in cars, you know, brand new 2024 cars, right? Brand new whips. No license plate, no insurance, you know, wearing the nicest clothes, jewelry. So they getting set up. And you know that this is deliberate because why are they not doing this for the American citizen? If they can do this for the migrant, they can clearly do this for the average American citizen, and they can also give reparations. But these devils, they're not going to do that. So that's a dead conversation. You know, we ain't even going to beat a dead horse about that. But back to the point, man. Look, this is causing strife and animosity in the average American because they're seeing that, damn, like our government is taking care of people that to them don't belong here. You know, it's really, this is their land anyway, but you know, according to them, people that don't belong here, they're illegals, they're foreigners, which, you know, that's hypocrisy again. You know, but the joy of the hypocrite is only but for a moment. So these Edomites, man, look, they about to feel the full wrath. All right, the Most High is bringing that full wrath on these Edomites, man. Also 2/3 Jake. But you see what's going on. The WEF and the WHO, you know, they really coming down with the bullshit, and they are not going to let up, you know, because ultimately this is a, you know, left hand agenda of Yahweh Shemel Shah coming forth.
It's anarchy, and I will tell you this: I talked to several lieutenants within the Chicago PD, and they told me the plan was to have no plan, meaning just chaos. These are soldiers, frontline law enforcement guys telling me this is a disaster. And they tell me also the DNC comes in August. They said, prepare. It's going to be beyond insane. Crime, rampant, BLM, anarchists, illegal aliens, gang members says, we're not prepared. That's a quote. We are not prepared. That's why you're seeing the DNC thinking about canceling their convention.
And you said they're not prepared. The Chicago PD says we're not prepared?
This is a quote. Chicago PD lieutenant told me, we are not prepared, and our federal partners are extremely concerned because we do not have a handle on anything.
I hope people are paying attention to what JJ just said. That is unbelievable, what you just told me. I'm frankly speechless. I mean, and I'm like on the verge of tears, to be honest with you. Like I can't freaking believe that this is happening in the United States of America right now. I mean, we need, I don't know what we do, but you've seen, of course, videos talking about 80,000 Americans ready to go, ready to launch a revolution, legal revolution in this country to expel these people. You have all of these black activists and black citizens here who are being trampled under the foot of illegal immigration by the Democrats. And they're saying, we're about to go to war. And what is the Biden administration doing right now? Literally the same day I'm talking to you, Rachel Levine, who's the trans, Surgeon General or whatever the hell he is issuing a statement saying the number one threat to black Americans right now is climate change. So this is, I'm not making that up.
It's funny. You got to laugh or you're going to cry.
I know, like, this is how out of touch these people are. I mean, I hope next time once the treason documentary is done, I hope you go to these black communities in Chicago and do another documentary on how climate change is the number one thing that's affecting them right now. Because all that frostbite that they're getting is a direct result of climate change. I mean, it's absolutely infuriating. And of course, we've covered, all the NGOs and the number of the funneling of this money here, this migrant center. But I just got to ask you, I mean, what does it seem like it's organized? You hear from these different activists who are talking about there's a war coming. Are they all on the same page with this? Are they talking about what's coming? Are they actively preparing for something? I mean, you talk about this sort of tinderbox moment. I guess I'm more worried about sort of the explosive moment, the start of World War I moment in the United States. What will be the shot heard round the world moment? Will we have a George Floyd style moment that will be used to rally? And or do they seem like they're all on the same page with this?
They are all on the same page. And I can't reiterate this enough. I'm talking to men that have been out of prison for a year or two, spent 2.5 decades in prison, major gang members. The creator, I sat down with the founder of the Black Disciples.
This is why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you.
They're all telling me, from there to the beautiful woman that works in the soup kitchen that's overworked out of her mind, to street pastors, to a mega pastor, to politicians and precinct leaders and everyone in between. Not knowing that I'm speaking to everyone else, right? Like I'm walling everyone off. They're adamantly, we're going to war. That's what they're saying. This is not my words. I'm not coming up with a phrase. They're saying, we are going to war. And I ask them, well, what does that look like? Whatever it takes, man.
You heard it for yourself. Whatever it takes. Okay, let's go to 2 Ezra 15. And let's start at 5. It says, Behold, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Verse 7, Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. Now, how is the Lord not holding his tongue no more concerning the wickedness of the people of this earth? Well, he's bringing the plagues. He's bringing the judgment. All right. And what's happening in these cities, this is a part of the plagues and the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But these people, because the Lord not dealing with them, they not going to understand that. And like I brought out in about 2 lessons ago, these Edomites, they'll talk about the problems that America is having, but they won't talk about the cause of it and what they should do to fix that, which they're not going to do that, because ultimately this is, these things must be, this is biblical prophecy that's playing out. So they're not going to think about repentance and what they've done to the Israelites. Notice how in this video, in this clip, they didn't bring up the so-called Native Americans. Like, they didn't bring up what has happened to the injustice that's happened to, Judah in this country. They're not talking about that, but yet they're upset about what's happening to America. They're upset that America is falling. See, that just shows you that the spirit that's in these Edomites is not upright. They're mad that who they call illegals are taking over their land when they're the original ones that took over the land that belonged to somebody else. So the hypocrisy is astounding, right? I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Let's jump down to where it speaks about these cities. Yeah, let's start at verse 12. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting in hell and with a fearful constellation. And we seeing that right now, how these farmers, You know, of course, we know that they're being put out of business by the powers that be, but we're also seeing wild weather. Like, look at what's happening in Texas and Nebraska, that Midwest to, the South region. The Lord the Lord jacking them Edomites down there up, man. You know, to the point where a lot of these crops are failing because of exactly what the scripture says. The seeds are gonna fail through the blasting in hell, the judgment, man, and with a fearful constellation. So yeah, these people are fearful. Like when you listen to Clayton Morris and the host, it's like the guest that he has on the show, they're speaking with fear. You see, because they never in their wildest dreams thought that this would happen to their beloved America. But you didn't account for the judgment of Yahweh Shemel Shai. See, I believe it was Thomas Jefferson. He made the statement that I tremble for my country when I consider that God is just and his judgment will not sleep forever. You know, something to that effect. See? So even going all the way back, the wicked founding fathers of this country, they knew that eventually at some point judgment was going to come because of all the wickedness that they've done. This is exactly what you're seeing play out right now, man. You know, this is a beautiful thing to witness. You know, the fall of our enemies. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? Verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men. What are they talking about? They're talking about civil war. They're talking about seditions, okay? Uprisings of the people against the powers that be. And it speaks about that in Job, you know, where it speaks about in the fullness of its sufficiency, speaking about the Edomites, the top level elite. You know, they shall be in streets, and every hand of the wicked, okay, which that word, wicked there, that goes into the common labor. You know, that goes into the citizen will rise up against them. You know, so this is exactly what you're seeing transpire in today's time, man. You know, things are only going to turn up, you know, because the closer that we get to the end, the Most High is only going to increase the that seditious spirit in these people even more, to where America, the judgment that's going to be on this place, man, it's going to be obvious, and it's going to be very, very profound. Right? They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Yeah. Even right now, you have that sentiment, to hell with the mayor, to hell with the governor. What are these people doing? Why are they putting these laws in place to destroy us and take away everything that we worked so hard for? Well, there's an agenda at play here. Okay, genius. There's an agenda at play, and the powers that be, they not your friend. They never were your friend. But see, there was a time when they allowed the lower level Edomite to live well, in contrast to Jake, because they always use that divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? They always use that divide and conquer. Give the poor white man, just a little bit more than Jake, and Jake will resent that, and there will be animosity. But the whole time, the real enemy is the elites, because they screwing everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is what these Edomites are now starting to realize. This is why now they want to talk about, black Americans and white Americans need to come together and all this and that. When all this time, these damn Edomites never gave a damn about Jake. They never checked up on Jake and tried to get Jake on an equal playing field, man. You see? But now that they're in hot water, now they want to come together and unite. But the scriptures say, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. So yeah, now you want to get with Jake, and now you want to, come to some kind of agreement, and we're all Americans, we need to come together, right? This is the sentiment of these people. But it's too little too late. You can't bring your country back to what it once was. And ultimately, these Edomites and these other nations, they go into slavery. That's ultimately what's going to happen to them. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're going to do what they want to do. To hell with the laws, to hell with, paying taxes, and, to hell with the draft and all these things that are going to come. 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. These cities are going to be so chaotic. There's going to be martial law, lockdowns are going to be put in place. Also, you're going to have disease outbreaks, which are also going to prompt the powers that be to lock these cities down. There's going to be checkpoints. So you're not going to be able to just travel freely as you can right now. Right now, if you want to, you can travel from New York all the way to California, straight shot. In the times that we coming into, that's not going to be a thing no more. All right. This whole, the whole of America is going to be under martial law. Some places are going to be worse than others, but that's pretty much going to be the general consensus of things in these major cities, especially. Right. Yeah, man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, great tribulation is here, right? We can close out on this, Jeremiah 51 and 1. It says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind. Okay, and all these plagues that you've seen happen to America, Babylon the Great, this is all a part of that destroying wind. See, verse 2, and will send unto Babylon fanners. All right, now when you consider a fan, because really what's happening in America, a fire is growing in the spirits of these people, man. And whenever you get into metallurgy, you use a fan to get the fire to burn hotter, right? So the Lord is saying that he's fanning the flames so that these things are going to grow larger and be more destructive, man. This is why things just get worse and worse day by day. The fire not going down is only raging more and more out of control. That shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Let's jump down to verse 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Now, what does it mean that Babylon has been a golden cup? Babylon the Great has pretty much been the greatest kingdom of all kingdoms that have ever existed upon the planet Earth. Babylon surpassed ancient Rome. Babylon surpassed ancient Egypt, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, the Assyrian Empire, the Persians, and the Medes. And this is also the most wicked kingdom that's ever existed. You see, you got all kind of perversions. Pretty much all of the wicked acts and perversions that the ancient kingdoms practiced, they've all come back today, but it's been taken to another level because technology has also been increased. And Esau's pseudoscience and his wicked science and all these things. You know what I'm saying? So the wickedness here in America is on another level, especially what they're doing behind the scenes is crazy, right? He has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. So there is no balm that you can put on the wound that America has suffered to heal this place and prop it back up to what it once was. No, this place is fallen. That's the point. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. You see that? So to put it in layman's terms, Babylon has just been has done too much wickedness. They've pushed these wicked philosophies to the other nations, to now to the point where these other nations, they've put off their own cultures, their own customs, and they've taken on the ways of Babylon the Great. Look at the youth in Japan and in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Different Asian nations, South American nations, man. Like the influence of Babylon has corrupted the whole entire earth to now pretty much the whole earth has been turned out into degeneracy. And who's at the forefront of pushing these wicked philosophies and these wicked ideals? It's Esau Edom, the man of sin, right? He who is coming is after the working of Satan. He's the one that is responsible for this. And this is why a new rulership is on its way, because the Lord has to set up one over the earth that is profitable, that is conducive to righteousness, flourishing, man. Esau, his whole vibration is just being adverse, being wicked to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know, just being that adversary of righteousness. Okay, which that shows you that he's the man of sin. You know, his works testify that he's the man of sin. Right? Yeah, we would have healed. Yeah, so even, you know, it's coming to the point now where these other nations, they're starting to leave America, especially the ones that are in these big cities, because business ain't booming like it used to. The money not coming in, things is drying up. So these other nations, they came here to make money, you know, because that's really what it was. Like, they never came to America to live here and have a lifestyle. Nah, like, they just came here to make money, send it back home so they can, you know, live good and their families can be set up. Now they starting to leave and go back home because they see that America, this place is falling. Like, they see that the wound this on this place is incurable. All right, so they get, you know, they gonna get the hell out of Dodge. They don't want to be nowhere around when this place fall. You see, and this is why the hopefully elect, we hasten the coming of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because yo, things about to get crazy. Like, things is already crazy, but it's about to be what's the word? It's about to be a demolition. Okay. It's about to be a serious demolition here in Babylon the Great, and we just praying that we be exempt from what's coming, man. That, you know, the Lord have mercy on us. You know, this should be your prayer every single day, to be counted worthy to escape the things that are coming on this earth. You know, especially here in Babylon the Great, because this is where the main destruction and deliverance is going to be. Because, you know, this is pretty much the hub of all wickedness on the earth. You know, so I'm going to go ahead and close out here. I kind of went over the time I wanted to, but it's all good. It's all through the Spirit. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Call halal. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect.